and welcome. It's Friday. Break out the Jack or, well, whatever your beverage of choice may be. We've survived another week, and what a week it has been. We've seen gold and silver break out again, right? Gold's already broke out to the upside, now breaking out further to the upside, more upside coming. We've been waiting for little brother. Silver finally showing strength, breaking through. We've been waiting for $16.71, and I told you then, if it doesn't, it's going to 17. When it goes to 17, it's going to 20, 22, 24. I mean, silver's got a long way to go. We're going to be breaking silver down today, so stay tuned for that. 800-951-0592, and we're going to have the opportunity to get into the gold and silver markets. I mean, right next to the spot price. You're talking about being able to buy $20 gold for like $15, $16, $17 over spot. We're going to be running a silver special today that's going to be within 10 cents of the spot price, maybe even a little less by the time we get to it. 800-951-0592. That is the toll-free number. Be ready. 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. I know how you like to be comfortably disturbed. Make it part of your daily routine. Get your butt out there. It's not that hard, right? Well, listen, you can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer. Make sure you get out there every day so it keeps you in the know to what is happening in a world that seems every day people have just lost their minds. I mean, it's incredible. I've never seen anything like it. I don't even know what to think about it most of the time. A lot of the times I sit there and I'm like, people can't honestly think this way, can they? And the funny part is, it's not like, it used to be fringe thinking, and on both sides, right, on the left and on the right, you had that. You did. You had the fringe. But everybody knew it was the fringe. Today, right, the fringe is now the middle. And all of us that were kind of in the middle. Now maybe I was a little right of the middle. I'm not going to lie about it, right? I wasn't, totally in the middle, but I wasn't way out there either. At least, maybe that's the problem with my mind. Maybe I was way out there and I just don't know it. But all of a sudden now the fringe is the middle. Right? If you're out there thinking, man, okay, right, can we please calm down with everybody's a racist? It's not racist to want secure borders. It's not. Right? It's not, everybody's a white supremacist because some crazy guy shot up a Walmart. That's not true. And it's so sensationalized on both sides of the aisle now that, like I said, this is like mainstream thinking out there, and the world has just lost its mind. And now we see issues with all of this debt everywhere. Right, and you're watching, gold's at record high in like over 80 countries, right? We're at 6-year highs here, and it's rising, and everybody starting to get worried about where all these interest rates are going, what country's going to blow up next. Horrible news out of Italy today. Italy bond yields, which, you think about the Eurozone, Germany's negative 0.6. Right? Spain's getting ready to go down. And Spain's barely better than Italy. But the Italian bond yields, they were lower than ours, skyrocketed up today. Listen, there's trouble out there. These banks, they can't make any money unless, credit cards, that's about it. And now you're seeing even, and I know they got, they fixed it. But we saw for the first time, didn't we? A little hiccup in our bond markets. Remember, what was it, just a couple of days ago, where the Treasury note collapsed, and then they had to come in and what? They had to come in and bail it all out and try to say, hey, don't worry, everything's cool. Wall Street whipsawing, up, down, up, down, up, down. Hundreds of points each day. Today it's a down day. Dow's down 225. S&P's down 31. The Nasdaq's down 113. Gold's up $5.50. 1503, 1504. Silver right at $17 to the ounce this morning. And the president coming out, China was on his mind. And this, get ready. Trump kind of let everybody know they don't want a deal. Huh? What? They don't want a deal? Man, who's been telling you that the whole time? Get ready. I would not be surprised if the 10% tariff becomes a 25% tariff before the end of the year. But we'll have to wait and see. I think the situation, unfortunately, gets a lot worse before it gets better. When we get back, we're going to be talking silver, where it's been, where it is, and where it's going. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour, legal, lawful, constitutional tender, what we like to call wealth insurance, gold and silver. It is what we do. And today we're going to talk about silver, right? We always refer to gold and silver as the brothers, right? Gold's big brother, silver's little brother. You know, big brother's the responsible one. Mom and dad put him in charge, and silver, he's a little crazy, right? Silver's, if he was a real child, they'd have him on Ritalin, and he'd have AD, DD, ADHD, and 5 or 6 other things, right? And he likes to wander, and I always, tell the story about how, just picture them, mom and dad, they're out playing out at the park. And mom and dad, hey, dinner is when the street light goes on. So get your butt home. And they're walking home. And Silver, sometimes he's, lags way behind his brother. Other times he's running way in front of his brother. But by the time they get there, they are always together. And right now, Silver's been what? He's been lagging behind. He wants to stay on the swings, right? One more slide, and Big Brother Gold's like, dude, we gotta go. See you later, right? Have you ever done that, right? Whether you've done it to your brothers or your sisters, maybe you've done it to your kids, right? Dad's leaving, right? Mom's leaving. See you later, right? You start to walk away to get them to come around. Well, guess what? That was gold and silver this year. Silver was as low as $14.40 this year. The high on silver is $17, $17.02. That's the high close. And right, you think about silver right now, sitting here staring $17 in the face. So at the highs of the year right now, and really when you go back and you start looking at silver really for the last 4 years in a row, didn't get above, spent the first 6 months of 2018 between $16 and it got low 17s. I think one day in all of 2018, one day, silver got to $17.50. And then when it did that, immediately fell right back down. But it really spent most of 2018 in that $14 to $15 range. Actually hit a low in 2018 it got down into the high 13s in 2018. You go back to 2017, and even then, the highest silver got was just over $18.50. Hit a low down at $15. You go back to 2016. This is kind of where most people think the next real resistance. There's two resistance points at silver now that it's at 17. The first, kind of a big one, and it's not that big of a one, is 1850. And that is the resistance point that was set up in 2017. It got to that 1850 level a couple of times in 2017, and as soon as it got there, I mean, almost within a day or two, within a couple of trading days, silver was back below $18 again, and it did it a couple of times. So right now, my first level for silver, it got $17. $18.50 is the first big resistance point. There's a couple of places in there where there's some mild resistance, but the computers, remember, and I keep trying to educate you, the computers drive everything. They're going to go to 1850. That's where they're going to go. And you think about rate cuts, right? We already know. We got more rate cuts coming, don't we? We already know. Right now, the president really letting us know today, hey, China, they don't want a deal. Of course, I told you that. I think we've got a lot more than one or two rate hikes or rate cuts, coming. So that's the first one. It breaks 1850. The next resistance point is really that $20 range, between $20 and $20.25. That resistance level, you got to go all the way back to 2016. And we hit in July, August, September, and October. Silver got up there only to fall. So when we look at where silver's headed, 1671 was the big 200-day moving average number that silver finally broke through. Now we're looking at 1850. After 1850, you're looking at 20. So you're thinking about these are $1.50 moves. A $3 move from $17. You're talking about almost 18%. Almost 18%. The nice part is, guess what? After 20, right? You just start going by dollars. 21, 22, 23. Right now at 15, gold at 15.05. You're really thinking about silver being fairly valued. And everyone uses a different number, but I always use 65 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. That still puts silver at $23. Here's the thing. I actually think gold's going to be, real close, if not already at $1,700 before the year is over. So if silver ends the year at $23, you're still looking at a silver price that's undervalued. Because if I'm right and gold's going to $1,700, fair value for silver would be $26. And a lot of people think that I'm, fair value is 50 ounces. So, and I think that's a little extreme. That would put silver above $30 to the ounce. But when we look at the breakouts here, obviously gold broke out. Silver, little brother, came with them. right? Big brother said, that's it. I don't care. You want to keep going down the slide, fine. I'm not getting in trouble by mom and dad for not being home for dinner on time. And Gold left. And Silver didn't think he would, Silver wasn't believing him, right? A little bit, you'll come back and get me. I got time. He figured out, Hey, wait a minute. Where did he go? Now Silver's running, right? Silver's running after him, trying to catch up to him. And you know me and Silver, right? I've got a love-hate relationship because it's heavy. Silver's heavy. It takes up more space than gold. But when you look at the potential return on your investment, obviously Silver's got ground to make up. I really sitting here thinking about, could you imagine a $6 move in the next 6 months on silver? That'd be a 35% move, and I don't think anybody would even think that's outrageous, right? They'd be like, yeah, well, it's about time. It's got to catch up. I mean, it hit the second highest level ever. You needed 94 ounces of silver for an ounce of gold earlier this year, and still today, it's still in the upper 80s, so there's a lot of room to run. The next key point for silver, we're looking for 1850. After 1850, we're looking at 20. And really, quite honestly, I think 1850 is going to fall pretty easily. 20, it'll be interesting at 20. Maybe we'll get a little pullback. It's not going to be much, and I actually think it's going to rip right through that as well. And head into that lower, $21, $22, $23 range in short order. And short-term thinking for me, when you talk about the next 12 months. And I'm looking at silver here, and I'm looking at the charts, and I know what these computers do, right? Because that's really who does the trading now. And then I start looking at the environment that we're in. Let's all agree on this, right? Everybody's slowing down. The trade war is getting worse, not better, because everybody just figured out what I already. Listen, I told you this 2 years ago. Dude, this is a communist country. We haven't figured this out. These idiots that come out on TV, they don't care. They just want you to buy their stocks. That's all they care about. Right? They know this. They're not going to tell you that. But when we look at rate cuts here, I think that we're going to go to zero. I actually kind of think about this, and remember Jim Cramer said it the other day, if the consumer slows down here, we're going to see negative rates. We're going to see negative rates, and that's just, you know what, every once in a while, they'll tell you the truth. You got to listen. They'll tell it to you once in a while. So I think silver's poised for a huge move. We've got a great opportunity today. We've got an assortment of junk silver, half dollars, quarters, and dimes. $10 face value. So if it's half dollars, that's going to be a roll of 20, right? 20 half dollars is $10. Quarters, 40 quarters is $10. Dimes, you're going to get 2 rolls of dimes. So rolls of dimes are 50 in a roll, so 100 dimes, $10 face value. At $122 for a roll. So you're going to be saving on average, $13 to $18 a roll. But here's what's so amazing about that price. At $122, it puts your price per ounce at $17.06. Right now, the September contract for silver, which is the current contract we're in, is at $16.99. 99 cents. So you're going to be able to buy government hallmarked silver, right? This is pre-1965 United States half dollars, quarters, and dimes. And I'll just say this: we'll get to pick it, but the half dollars I'll fill first. So I do have at least 100 rolls of half dollars. So the first of the callers, I'm going to make sure you guys get the half dollars. You can't specify though, because it's too hard for us. I've got at least 2.5 bags worth of junk silver available at 7 right now at 7 cents over spot. And obviously we're still early in the day. By the end of the day, it may actually be under spot for government hallmark silver. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily commentary continuing the conservative pro-family legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
The United Kingdom faces a conflict that grows fiercer all the time. At odds are a historic respect for sovereignty and Western civilization versus the sweeping wave of multiculturalism, globalism, and political correctness. This conflict was on display as one of Britain's most famous entertainers of the last half-century, the Monty Python comedian John Cleese, criticized the loss of English identity. Cleese tweeted that, "Some years ago I opined that London was not really an English city anymore." He continued, "Since then, virtually all my friends from abroad have confirmed my observation, so there must be some truth in it." For that, the internet erupted among those who demand political correctness, falsely accusing Cleese of being racist. But Cleese stood his ground, observing that it's legitimate to prefer one culture to another. Cleese is an icon of British humor, perhaps best known for his Monty Python skit, The Ministry of Silly Walks. In it, he portrays a government worker in charge of approving grants to develop silly walks. And Cleese's own hilarious way of walking to his job caused fans to urge him to reprise his silly walk throughout his long career. But his criticism of the wrong turn taken by London and its radical mayor Sadiq Khan is not silly at all, and it's proven by many statistics. For example, the murder rate last year in London increased to its highest level this decade, often by gruesome stabbings and including at least one shocking murder by machete. Cleese explained what London has become. Quote, "I suspect I should apologize for my affection for the Englishness of my upbringing, but in some ways I found it calmer, more polite, more humorous, less tabloid, and less money-oriented than the one that is replacing it now." End quote. The anti-Trump mayor of London predictably criticized Cleese's comments. He said, "Londoners know that our diversity is our greatest strength. We are proudly the English capital, a European city, and a global hub." On his state visit in June, President Trump properly embraced English culture rather than apologizing for it. So should British royalty and all of the people of England.
Thanks for listening to the Phyllis Schlafly Report. You'll be glad to know the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly continues, upheld by Ed Martin, president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Chairman Helen Marie Taylor, Treasurer John Schlafly, a full staff in St. Louis and our nation's capital, and thousands of citizen volunteers, her Eagles, across the country. You can be part of that legacy at phyllisschlafly.com. That's phyllisschlafly.com.
800-951-0592. Two lines are open. Just stay on hold. We'll get to you in the order that you called. I'm here in Arlene. Let me just tell you again what this is. So we've got U.S. minted pre-1965 half dollars, quarters, and dimes. So you'll get one roll of halves or one roll of quarters or two rolls of dimes. That's $10 face value. That equates, if you took a blowtorch to the $10 face value, you would end up with 7.15 ounces of silver. Okay, so every roll that you order, every roll of halves or rolls of quarters or two rolls of dimes, has 7.15 ounces of silver. This is great because really today you get the opportunity to do two of my favorite things. One being the most important thing when we say this all the time here at Patriot. Buy as close to spot as possible. You can't get much closer. I mean, you think about this, at $122 for a roll, that puts your cost per ounce at $17.06. So you're talking about you're not even a dime over spot, right? You're talking about think about a nickel and a couple of pennies over spot. I mean, that's how close to spot it is, which is always what we want to accomplish. Government hallmarked, U.S. government hallmarked, another huge positive. Then you talk about fractional silver. This is talking about, hey, remember silver's all-time high is 50. Right? Silver's all-time high is 50. A lot of people are like, hey, silver, hasn't even broke its all-time high from the 80s. It should be $150 an ounce. I don't know. But just think about it. Even at $50 an ounce, right? Hey, if you want a couple of eggs from the farmer, silver equals too much. So now you get fractional silver to go along with it. This is the ultimate win-win package for you new listeners out there. It's so simple. You just call us at 800-951-0592, and you just tell Arlene, hey, I want the special. That's all you need to say. And she's just going to ask you, how many rolls would you like? I mean, that's going to be her question. How many rolls would you like? Whether it's 1 roll, 10 rolls, 100 rolls, whatever that number is. And she's going to take, your name and address. If you're in Phoenix or Colorado, you can come to our offices and pick up. If you're out of, hey, I live too far away or I'm in a different state, shipping's $35. And I'll just let you know as an example, 10 rolls $50. I'm just letting you know. 10 rolls $50 costs more than $35 to ship it, but we will eat the rest of it. 800-951-0592. I want the special. That's all you need to say. Right now we got, one line now open. Just stay on hold. We'll get to you in the order that that you called. If you end up going to voicemail or you get a busy signal, hang up and call us back. And we'll get to you. The line, there you go. So a line just opened up. Rolls of dimes, quarters, and $50. This is our pre-1965 U.S. government hallmarked silver. It's $122 for $10 face value. 100 dimes, 40 quarters, 20 halves, $122. Pennies over spot today at 800-951-0592. We actually have product in both places, so you can call today and pick up today if you'd like, or make arrangements, like I said, or we'll ship to you. 800-951-0592. Yesterday, we talked about debt, consumer debt, right? We talked about how credit card debt, auto debt, student loan debt. Man, things are starting to get ugly. According to a report by CNBC, the average college graduate is now leaving school. Now, notice how they said leaving school, right? With over $30,000 in debt. That's a $20,000 increase from the start of the millennium. So at the end of the 90s, the average person had $10,000 of debt. That number is now 30,000 of debt. They said a huge growth in the number of graduates owing more than 100,000 of debt in 2003-2004 academic year. 51,000 graduates had large sums of student debt, while in 2015-2016, so think about this, a little more than 10 years later, wasn't 51,000. No. 178,000 owed more than $100,000. Now they're saying, CNBC is saying in 2019, over 6% of student loan borrowers owe more than $100,000. It is absolutely insane what is happening. Here's what they said. Here's the problem. The U.S. Department of Education, who, by the way, can't find their backside with both their hands, they say that, hey, the average student only pays $16,757,000 for undergraduate tuition, fees, room, and board at a public institution. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, you're not doing that at U of A or ASU or NAU. How about at Colorado? Think you can do it at Colorado? Guess what it costs at Colorado? So go to Boulder there. $27,750 per year for tuition, fees, room, and board. I know how to do math. You're there 4 years. That's over $100,000. No wonder why no one's buying a house. Got a couple of lines open again. Arlene's getting through them. 800-951-0592. 800-951-0592. During the break, Arlene and I were able to get through it. All lines now open. U.S. government hallmark junk silver, as we like to call it. Pre-1965, half-dollar quarters and dimes, $10 face value, pennies over spot. Your average cost per ounce is $17.06. They're $122 per roll. Obviously, that'd be 2 rolls of dimes, roll a quarter, roll a halves. At this point, you can request, hey, I'd like quarters or halves or dimes, but it's only a request. You'll get what you get. And I don't want to. We want to get you what you want, but we have just it's a complete mix of halves, quarters, dimes. You can make a request with Arlene, but just understand this: it doesn't matter. Whatever if you end up with dimes or quarters or half dollars, it's okay. I mean, you're paying pennies over spot here at 800-951-0592. We have product in both locations, so if you want to call and you can pick them up whenever you like. We'll set appointments, do all that stuff. Rolls of silver, junk silver, U.S. government hallmark. Pennies over spot today at $122 a roll. 800-951-0592. And man, just bad news everywhere. U.S. producer prices fell for the first time in 30 months, if you want to believe that, which means, guess what? No inflation, according to them. More rate cuts are on the way. U.S. corn exports. And the farmers had between all the flooding, And then now, obviously, China's not buying any products. We knew about the soybeans. Now, U.S. corn export, the lowest levels in almost 2 years. Well, again, I'm going to point the finger at the Chinese. I know that they buy a lot of soybeans, but I got to imagine they buy a bunch of corn too. American farmers have just lost their fourth largest customer. There you go. China now has completely pulled out of the U.S. agriculture market, saying that U.S. corn exports are collapsing. June, it hit a 19-month low, and they said July's numbers looked even worse than that. We don't have those numbers yet. We'll have to, the weekly data said U.S. has 6.7 million tons of corn to export during the last 2 months of the fiscal year. But unfortunately, I guess not a lot of buyers, 3.89 million tons. So when you got almost 7 million tons of corn to sell and you only got less than 4 million tons or bushels or whatever, I guess it's tons, sorry, 4 million tons of buyers, you got a little bit of a problem there. I'll try to keep you updated. Is again, China, the president today reiterating China is not ready to make a deal. He says that he does not even know if they're supposed to meet in September. His quote was for September, if they come, fine. If they don't come, fine. China isn't ready to make a deal. Kind of saying, hey, even if they come, right, he's not expecting a lot out of it. That's kind of again, reiterated where we're at. I think that's actually one of the reasons why the Dow isn't down more today is because of that. Because I think that puts into their mind, hey, we're not going to get 2 rate cuts. We may be getting 3 rate cuts before the year. And then remember, next year is the election. I hate thinking about it. Right? I mean, it's just crazy to think about it. Did you catch Joe Biden, by the way? And I don't like to do politics, but I can't help it. He was out there giving a speech again. They got to find somebody else. Poor kids, this is a quote from Biden, poor kids are just as bright and talented as white kids. Yeah. Poor kids are just as bright and talented as white kids. Apparently, what the guy running for office doesn't know, there's more poor white people in this country than there are black people or Mexicans, right? There is. And again, this is kind of the problem. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what these people are thinking. I mean, and we hear these comments every day. Every day. And you know, this whole, like, what being white is bad and somehow evil and all of these things. And I just don't understand. Obviously, they don't really understand this country's history. Come a long way. Every race has come a long way. And again, though, they always want to divide, right? They just want to divide us and tear us down. And this is what happens. Though, you know what? Inequality does this. It's done it everywhere. This is what it does, right? You think about the Weimar Republic and the rise of Hitler and all of these other things. And I hate using that example, but you know, it's one everybody knows. Right? When very few people have money and the vast majority of people don't, you get this kind of talk that we're seeing here in the U.S. now. 800-951-0592. Final segment for the week coming up. 800-951-0592. Final segment again. I know we've been hitting it pretty hard today. Rolls of junk silver. These are $10 face value rolls. 7.15 ounces of silver in every roll of half dollars and quarters, every 2 rolls of dimes. They're $122, which is, when you look at your cost per ounce, puts it at $17.06. Just pennies over spot today at 800-951-0592. You gold guys, I'm not forgetting about you. Listen, we got $20 gold. Liberties and Saints at $15.20. Gold Eagles, I still got Gold Eagles at $15.25. So again, just dollars over spot on the gold side at 800-951-0592. Man, JCPenney, the retail thing just keeps getting worse. JCPenney received notice that it is no longer in compliance with the minimum listing criteria. The New York Stock Exchange actually sent them notice on August the 6th. And the criteria is actually pretty simple. Your stock price has to be at least $1. And it has to be $1 for at least 30 consecutive days. The last time JCPenney stock traded for over $1 was June 6th. So it's actually been out of compliance now for 2 months. You have 6 months from the time you get the notice. So they just got the notice on August the 6th to get into compliance before they delist you. I don't know if that means they're going to file for a bankruptcy filing. One of the things that Penny's has going for it, I guess, is they don't have any big amounts of debt maturing for the rest of this year. So they may do possibly a reverse stock split, or maybe come out and announce more store closings, something to try to get their stock price to get over $1. If it doesn't get over $1 within the next 6 months, they'll effectively be delisted, and pretty much sets them up for complete liquidation. I don't anticipate that. I think Penny still has, like Sears, they're going to file bankruptcy a couple more times. I guess that's my point. But get ready from something out of Penny's, as they are no longer in compliance with the minimum requirements to be a publicly traded company. And the minimum requirement is a stock price of $1. Right? So, wow, things have gone from bad to worse. 800-951-0592. Let's end on a positive note. We're selling U.S. government hallmark junk silver for pennies over spot today. $120 or $122 a roll. $10 face value. 800-951-0592. Everybody have a great weekend. Before you do, though, get those orders in. We'll talk again on Monday.